Greetings, fellow humans, and welcome to another Tea with JD. Still have a little bit of tea left, and it's gone. It's like your 401k, it's gone. For those of you who know South Park. So, I've been trying to do this for a long ass time. Something always happens. Let's see if this is going to be the case or if I can finally do it. This is actually the Small BookTuber Shoutout. I've been meaning to do this for a long time. Had to update all the numbers for the people that I'm going to be recommending. This is one of 3 shoutout videos that I'm going to be doing. It's this one, the paid forwards tag, and the international tag that JD Archer recently tagged me in. But yeah, basically my criteria for this, for a small booktuber as I defined it, was for these booktubers to have 400 or less subscribers, and whom are people that, for some reason or another, I think that they're great. So, without further ado, let's do this. First on the list is Anaïs Believes. Anaïs Charchenko is one of my favorite poets, a fellow indie author, a great human, someone I'm very fond of, and someone I highly recommend. I'm not sure how many subscribers she has, but I'm pretty sure she has less than 400. I don't know why, but that is the case. Her channel is one of the most eclectic channels I've ever seen. She plays music. She does makeup tutorials. She does a ton of tags. She reads her poetry collections, which I highly recommend if you want something raw and intense. And she does video gaming and anything that comes into mind. It's a really fun channel, and she's a really great person. Good people. And pretty much everyone on this list is good people. But next on the list is Myk Pilgrim, UK indie author. I have no idea why he has 47 subscribers. This guy is cool as hell. Just a nice guy. He is Hufflepuff on the inside, covered with a Slytherin exterior. I think that's a good way to describe him because he writes horror things. If you want to laugh your ass off, by all means, check out his drunken Hogwarts test videos. He gets slammed, and he does the quizzes for your entertainment. I highly recommend them. Next up is the wonderful Matt Turner at Turn the Page. He's got 222 subscribers. He is easygoing. He's mellow. He's relaxed. He's a kind guy. And his reason to start his BookTube channel was to get to reading more. And if that's not a noble enough reason, then I don't know what the hell is. Next up, so you know the clicking sound. I'm highlighting the name and deleting it because I'm gonna finish this video. I've tried to do these videos like 12 or 13 times. At least this one I'm gonna finish. Next on the list is Amanda Mabry, also known as A.L. Mabry, fellow indie author, great lass, kooky as hell. Her Facebook is a lot more active than her YouTube lately, but they're both fun. And she actually went dressed in a unicorn onesie to buy their unicorn frappuccino. It's a 3-part video. I highly recommend that. She's good people, a ton of fun, kooky in the good way. Next up is Amarinske from Ammalyrical, very lovely Dutch friend, random as hell, smart. She speaks 5 languages. And I have no idea why she only has 21 subscribers. Cool person on so many fronts. Seriously, just really, really cool. And she sends random videos from the other side of the pond of stuff that you go like, what the hell is this? And just a nice person to call friend. Next on the list is Anna Dunn. Anna Dunn used to be a pretty big YouTuber, and then she kind of got to a point where she knew that she had to stop because she lost focus of that, and she's revamped and done a new channel, Turn the Page, and highly active on social media and YouTube. Very sweet, very even with the issues that she might have in life, she still has a positive outlook, and that's a really cool thing to see. I did enjoy seeing her do Camp NaNoWriMo and all her struggles. But apart from that, she shares a lot, and she interacts a lot, and she's really cool. Next up, Avleen Masawan. Soft-spoken and pretty much the gentlest person I've seen on YouTube. And when I say gentle, I don't mean weak. I mean gentle. She's very soft-spoken, very considerate, and just one of those people that is just a pleasure to listen to. She has some really interesting discussion videos. She's also a writer. Talks a lot about writing and the writing process and being a writer. And again, highly recommended. She only has 84 subscribers. Next up is Books, Tea, and History, which is Rachel from Malta. How many people do you know from Malta? She's got 79 subscribers and a really interesting and different perspective. So by all means, check her out. Next up, one of my faves, Britt, a girl on KindleFire. If you want someone who wears their heart on their sleeve, look no further. It's not always positive, but it's always honest, and she keeps it really real, and I really appreciate that from her. Very genuine lass. We interact on other social media. Has very interesting perspectives as a writer, as a reader, and as a human. So highly recommend her. Next up, we do have Gerard The BookWorm. He's a booktuber that works at an independent bookstore, and if you want to get the gist about what it's like to work in an independent bookstore and the challenges that they face against behemoths like Amazon and Barnes & Noble, by all means check out his channel. He's got some really interesting insights, and he's a cool guy. Next up, someone whose book is on my TBR actually started his book and said, no, I'm just going to read this single book rather than read multiple books at the same time. Jason Greensides is a UK indie author. He should seriously consider doing a couple of things. One, posting more videos. Two, going into voice acting. He's got an excellent voice, and he's a really genuine and cool dude. And I know that you're watching. And you too, Matt. And you guys are lurking. And I appreciate it. I appreciate that you guys see the videos, and I see there's male booktubers to enjoy as well. Next up is Jessica Marie Baumgartner. She does Whacky Wednesdays. She's a really lively lass. She hasn't put up videos in a while. I'm not sure why, but what's available is definitely worth your time. She's a sweetheart and just someone that really makes me smile. And next up is the elegant Michael J. Elliot from the Dark Realm Diaries. Michael is a cool guy. He likes really dark stuff, but he's such a sweet guy at the same time. So it has that contrast. Seriously, him and Myk Pilgrim are cut from the same cloth. They're those type of people that love to see, like, decapitations and stuff like that, but will more than likely help an old lady cross the road. Michael draws, designs, and writes a ton of stuff. He does a lot of videos. You should check him out, and he's cool people. Next up is my fellow Pearl Jam fan, Candace, from Beacon Hill Books. I saw her a couple of videos, and I was like, oh yeah, cool person and whatnot, and then it was like, oh, you like music, and we started exchanging music, and with the exception of Kelly from South Africa and a couple of people from other social media, and we haven't touched base with new bands and new discussions, so I have to touch base with you again, Candace. But her recommendations were spot on, and I was super happy to share recommendations as well. Good people, entertaining, smart, reads a wide variety of books, not just one thing or the other. Most of the people on this list don't just read YA, so if you want less YA. Next up, the incomparable Joe Compton, the godfather of Go Indie Now. Joe's work ethic and drive is second to none. He puts in a hell of a lot of work into his Go Indie Now channel. If you're curious about indie bands, indie writers, indie filmmakers, or anything indie, you should check out his channel. He's also super sweet, one of the most genuine people I know. You might have seen me in some videos with the Go Indie Now coffee mug. He's in it to win it, and he's one of the nicest souls I've met on here. So by all means, check him out. Next up, Joshua Robertson, author of so many high fantasy books and CEO of Crimson Edge Publishing, which is a small publisher. Cool guy, genuine guy, one of the most zen guys I know. I have to catch up with his channel, but catching up with everyone is pretty much a big challenge. Still, his books are also on my TBR. I have read some books by his wife, shorter reads, and I will be reading more of his. I think I'm going to start with Anarfel or Melgorka. Not sure. Still, super chill guy, great tips, great insights. Someone who has a lot of knowledge and is very, very willing and able and happy to share. Next up, another indie author. I'm putting a lot of indie authors to show that it's not just about us and our writing. If you want a prime example of that, Heidi Angell, who has 62 subscribers, is a perfect example of that. She will go above and beyond to pump other people's work and sometimes forget about hers, which is silly. She is fantastic and a super sweetheart, and you should check her out. She's married. I mean, check out her channel. Don't check. Well, if you want to check her out, enjoy. Next up is Michael S Deutsch. Michael tagged me for the he didn't tag me for the male booktuber tag. He tagged me for the booktube newbie 2.0 tag. He's a kid who has a lot of deep insights, and he's got a really good head on his shoulders. Super nice guy. The type of person that if I had, like, you know, I don't know, a spare piece of pie, I'd love to share it with him. He's a really, really nice guy. Great discussion videos. Puts a lot of thought into his videos. Puts a lot of thought into doing shout outs to other people. Just a nice guy. Next up is another of my faves, and I don't know how Sage has 49 followers, but Sage from Sage Knows What's Up has 49 followers. Sage has a really interesting perspective in terms of life, gender, what she reads, and Sage is the type of person that has so much talent that you're curious to see what else can come from her channel. You go like, oh yeah, you know, this person has some interesting stuff to share, and then there's a new poem, and you go like, wow, that was good, and a song, and you go like, wow, you should just keep going. But BookTube is about doing your own thing, at your own pace, and Sage definitely does that. I highly recommend the channel, highly recommend following on Twitter as well. Just a good person to have, not on your side, but to be in contact with, and really pleasant in so many ways. Next up, Travis reads books. Travis is a cool guy. He does a lot of book reviews. He does a lot of tags, a lot of discussion videos, and loves coffee and Funko Pops. If you want to see a ridiculously huge Funko Pop collection, check out his channel. He'll give glimpses here and there. Totally worth your time. Next up is JB Taylor from Taylor Talks. He's got 44 followers. And if you're an indie author and you're looking to get interviewed or something, he's more than willing and happy to do that. Snarky, sarcastic, funny, cool guy. By all means, check him out. Next up is Booky Lorra from Australia. She's into science fiction, nonfiction, and a lot of middle grade, because I'm pretty sure that she's a teacher. She's super cool, Her videos are short and easily digestible. So by all means, check her out. Next up is another fellow author, Kim S. Goode. I haven't seen that many videos of her, but every time I see a video, I go like, oh, that's pretty cool. And she did the summer writing tag, and that was a fun tag to do. And her work during Camp NaNoWriMo was also very motivating. Cool people, by all means, check her out. Next up, Rachel Householder. I've followed Rachel for a long while. I've tagged her in a ton of stuff. I like her perspective, and she's a huge rocker. So what's not to like? She likes books, she likes rock and roll, and she's cool people. She's got 157 subscribers, and she should have more. As well as Maria from Ria Reads. Young booktuber, good head on her shoulders, good heart, interesting insights into the stuff that she reads. She might lean towards YA, but she has an interesting perspective, in my opinion. And again, good people. And I like recommending good people. Next up is another of my faves, Nicole from Who Picked This Book. Nicole's channel is a ton of fun. She is a ton of fun. She's super cool. She's a Slytherin, a snarky one at that. She's feisty. So by all means, check out her hauls. They're super fun. And yeah, you don't need to know anything else except than to click the link down below. Next up is Sunshine Somerville, another fellow indie author, and she's on this epic journey, moving from place to place right now. She is a good writer. She's a cool person. And again, another person who is more active on Facebook, like Amanda, but another person whom I recommend to read and watch because they're cool people. And finally, just for this list though, one of my absolute favorite booktubers, she only has 246 subscribers. Kim here is loony, kooky, goofy, silly, in all the best ways possible. She's got a lot of spunk to her, and she's one of those people that I really need to meet so I can give her and her husband a hug. She dresses, I'm not sure how much longer she can do that. She used to dress up as a princess, or she still dresses up as a princess to work at parties. And the perspective that she can give from that experience, and also being a writer, and also being an avid booktuber and book reader, is definitely worth your time. So that is this list. I have 2 other tags, and some people that are small booktubers I'm leaving for another one because I think it's more interesting to include them over there. But until next time, thank you for watching, and peace, love, and Myk your world. And yay, I finished the damn tag.